A man who showed up for jury duty in Tulsa, Oklahoma was then immediately arrested and put in jail for a murder charge. The man said he wasn't upset because it's easier to get out of a murder charge than it is to get out of jury duty. And you know something? Sadly, my friends, that is the truth. That's how upside down lawyers have made it all. You know, there's an old joke that goes, what do you call 100 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean? And the answer is a good start. Well, no, it isn't a good start, because you put 100 lawyers on the bottom of the ocean, and pretty soon every single fish and crustacean will be talked into a class action suit naming Mrs. Paul, Arthur Treacher, and the fucking Gorton's fisherman guy as defendants. Now, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but our country's once venerable justice system has been taken over by a pack of grotesquely rapacious truth pimps who, in the interest of lining their own custom-tailored Armani pockets, are more tort-happy than Pavarotti turned loose in an Entenmann's factory. Okay. I'll grant you there are still lawyers out there who are motivated by compassion and concern. Lawyers like our guest tonight, Consular Bugliosi. But they're about as easy to find as a dry spot on Billy Idol's futon. Now, I'm talking... Okay, he doesn't fuck like every 3 seconds. All right. Okay. All right. I'm talking about the lawyers who are paid huge fees to represent the most despicable people in the world, like drug dealers, O.J. Simpson, child molesters, rapists, O.J. Simpson, and O.J. Simpson. We've all heard about the burglar who trips and falls while leaving the scene of the crime and then sues the guy whose house he broke into, or the woman who spills hot coffee on herself and sues the restaurant for serving it to her, or the moron college student who falls out of the window while mooning some of his friends, and then he sues the school. The reason that virtually any product in this country is 10 times more expensive than it should be is because for every marble brain that either eats a silicone packet or decides to make toast in the bathtub, it becomes Sadie Hawkins Day for squadrons of ambulance-chasing legalistas peeling off from the main formation to bomb the shit out of our economy with no regard for the collateral damage that they may wreak. It wasn't always this way. The word lawyer used to conjure up images of an upstanding, tireless advocate for the little guy, an Atticus Finch or Clarence Darrow who was passionately dedicated to truth and justice. Lawyers were once regarded with respect bordering on reverence. Now they're viewed with about the same amount of enthusiasm as Matt Helm at a radical feminist poetry reading. Like Pamela Anderson Lee, the legal profession started out with good intentions. Just somewhere along the line, it got really scary. Why the change? Why the change? When did the field of law attain the status of a pork chop at the Wailing Wall? Well, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth is that the law has been bastardized by a band of hucksters who have made it so cryptic, so utterly puzzling and arcane that even Moses, Hammurabi, and Judge Judy, working around the clock for 20 years, could not understand it. Modern American lawyers employ English not spoken since the days of King George III and Latin that even Gloria Estefan couldn't grasp, all right? Purposely making it impossible for even the wisest layman to interpret the true meaning of the law. We have gone from thou shalt not kill to thou shalt not deprive any or all persons of their inalienable right to absorb or dispense hereforth with any or all oxygen delivery and removal systems contained within or near said living configuration. It is often said that while our legal system is a flawed one, it's still the best in the world. Well, you know something? I think we're being a bit too easy on ourselves there. I happen to think that the American legal system sucks worse than a Celine Dion cover version of Whole Lotta Love. You know it, and I know it. Americans walking into a courtroom have long abandoned any expectation of justice because the American legal system has been turned into nothing more than a Baroque, multi-tiered Vulcan chess game where the rules have become too intricate for the average citizen to play and where the loser is no longer the guilty party, but rather the least clever of the two. Lack of wit should not be a crime, unless, of course, you're Andy Rooney. notice I'm dead? Why is that? Most lawyers care about justice and what is right as much as MTV viewers care about Jenny McCarthy's Weltanschauung. No, I think you misinterpreted that. Weltanschauung is a German word for her world view. Her tits are Hooterschnappels. People ask, how can a lawyer deem himself or herself to be simultaneously an ethical person and a defender of pure evil? How can anyone stand before a jury knowing full well in his heart that the person they are defending is guilty? Well, the answer is very simple. Lawyers who defend scum are, in their minds, defending something more important than the person sitting to their left. They are defending the law of our land, and that's what we have to change. We have to change the idea that the lawyer can use the Bill of Rights as a pillow every night and sleep soundly because he feels in his heart, even though he has defended subhumans and gotten them off, he is just doing what is constitutionally dictated. We have to put the onus back on the lawyer as an individual. The lawyer must take responsibility for his actions. We make it too easy on them when we attach patriotism to handling animals like Lau and Eric Menendez. And while we're talking about injustice in this world, how come Lau always gets mentioned first? Lau and Eric, Lau and Eric, Lau and Eric. I mean, come on, it's not even alphabetical. You know what I think? I think Eric should sue Lau's ass. That is, if the other inmates can just stop cross-examining it for a few minutes. William Shakespeare once said, the first thing we do is kill all the lawyers. Of course, he said that after he lost all of his sonnets in a nasty division of property settlement when he divorced Lady Anna Nicole of Smith. Well, obviously no one's advocating that we kill all the lawyers, but it is time that we tighten the choke chain and make these attack dogs more accountable. I say we make law school 4 years. The last year spent learning how to vaguely resemble a human being. And most importantly, if you get a bad guy off through a sleazy loophole, he bunks with you, okay? Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.